Every year, modern families spend thousands of their hard-earned dollars on food that never gets eaten.
The problem is this. We have become dependent on a high-consumption metal box. This dependency makes you vulnerable to inflation and energy crises.
But one community mastered this game in the 18th century. They said no to the modern system, the Amish.
They possess a system, a lost blueprint that keeps food fresh for years without a single penny of electricity.
We have recognized the dependence. Now we must understand the solution. The first pillar of the Amish's lost blueprint for food preservation is pure simplicity. Principle number 1, the root cellar. This is the only structure that outsmarts modern smart refrigerators. Why? Because it doesn't need an external energy source. The secret here is not in freezing, but in the Earth's constant temperature. The ground acts as an insulator, protecting against seasonal temperature fluctuations. It's environmentally friendly engineering that works for free. To build your own cellar, you need 3 principles. First, a simple ventilation system for air exchange. Second, maintaining constant humidity to prevent vegetables from shriveling. And third, intelligent classification. Store potatoes in sawdust and your root vegetables in sand. This method effectively doubles the lifespan of your produce. This method is extended life for produce you won't have to buy next week. This is freedom. Now that we've solved temperature, it's time to preserve protein. Now that we've solved temperature, here is the real challenge: proteins and fruits. The Amish solved this not with freezing, but with a precise scientific process. Principle number 2, canning or jarring. Historically, this is the most reliable method of preservation for survival. This is not merely a hobby, it is a survival skill that keeps food fresh for up to 10 years. The simple physics of food preservation. The canning process achieves 2 key things. First, heat eliminates all bacteria and yeasts. Second, it creates an absolute vacuum that seals out all air and contamination. To execute the process, jars must be perfectly sterilized. You fill the jars with the protein or produce and then cook them in a pressure canner for a specific time. This process gives you 100% certainty of food safety. With this method, you not only preserve your vital proteins, but also save on the immense costs of running a freezer. This is a double financial gain. But the final challenge is grains and pest control. You've solved temperature and protein, but a hidden risk remains: pests and moisture. The biggest threat in long-term storage is not freezing, but insect infestations and ambient humidity. Principle number 3, airtight storage. The Amish store their rice, beans, and flour in plastic buckets or mylar bags. This creates an impenetrable barrier against moisture and pests.
But here is the master secret: using oxygen absorbers. These small packets remove all remaining oxygen inside the container, essentially turning the container into a vacuum. Without oxygen, insect eggs or pests will never hatch or thrive.
With this simple, low-cost method, you secure your complete food independence for years. You have opted out of the inflation game and can rely on your own reserves with peace of mind. Now, it's time to look at the numbers.
You've seen the 3 core pillars of the lost blueprint. Now it's time to calculate the cost of convenience. Over the last 5 years, our electricity cost for food storage alone has risen by an average of 35%.
Let me be clear. A modern refrigerator consumes an average of $500 of your money every single year. And that doesn't even include the cost of the food that never gets eaten. This is a never-ending runway of expenses.
The society we were told was backward actually runs the most sustainable economic system. They eliminated dependency and chose investing in survival instead of paying thousands of dollars for energy.
With these three principles, you have stepped outside the game of fear. It no longer matters what the electricity price is tomorrow. You are food independent. This is the true financial power and survival I promised you.
This is where the line between survival and financial slavery is drawn. We gave you the lost blueprint. This is where the line between survival and financial slavery is drawn. We gave you the lost blueprint.
The question is not whether you will do this, but how quickly you will start. Tell us about the first thing you plan to preserve in the comments below.
But food storage is only part of the story. If you want to know how the Amish reduce their water, electricity, and heating bills to zero, click on the video here, The No Bills Life Secret.